Hey guys, this is Miss Jackie. I'm making this video to give you just a brief bio and introduction into my new YouTube channel, which is named Learn to Sign with Miss Jackie. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. All this is very new for me. I decided to make some sign language videos for my students that are at home right now during the COVID-19 quarantine. So I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone here, but I have been a teacher for the deaf for 17 years. I was a preschool teacher for the deaf and hard of hearing for 5 years, 5 wonderful years. And then the rest of those 12 years, I have been an itinerant teacher for the deaf and hard of hearing. I have my master's degree in deaf education from the University of Tennessee, go Vols. I have a desire to teach families how to sign, to teach deaf children how to sign, and, just to educate people about deaf education, deaf culture, sign language, how to do it the right way. And the most important thing to remember about sign language is that sign language is a language of the deaf. It is by the deaf, for the deaf, of the deaf. I was very fortunate enough to have deaf instructors, some deaf instructors at the university. I was very blessed to have deaf friends that taught me, a great deal about conversation and how to correctly do a lot of the features within ASL. And it's important to remember that sign language is also regional. A lot of times the books and the videos that you find are published in either New York or California. And a lot of times in Tennessee, which is where I'm from, we use different signs. And I have a great interpreter friend of mine who's from Ohio. She's wonderful and has taught me a lot. She shows me a lot of times different signs that they use in Ohio, and we compare notes, and that's kind of fun. That being said, I am not an interpreter. I was not trained as a sign language interpreter. I became fluent in ASL to complete, of course, my master's degree in deaf education, but to be an educator. So I sign with instruction in mind. I sign with content in mind. Like I said, I am not a sign language interpreter. I have filled in as a sub-interpreter from time to time in a pinch, but that is not my background. I enjoy the interaction with deaf children and their families, and it's always been something I've been super passionate about. So during this time, my heart breaks that not only people suffering from this virus, but also for children that are at home that maybe have no access to language. And what I will be signing when I do these books and videos is what they call total communication. So total communication is when you sign and speak simultaneously. And it's really difficult to sign ASL conversation as you read an English word order book. So what I will be doing is what they call contact sign language, or pidgin, which basically means you use ASL signs in English word order. So I'll be talking more and more about ASL and what the differences are when it comes to what people use. There are lots of different types. So that's a little bit about me. Feel free to ask any questions. Some of the components that we'll be talking about are things like how to correctly fingerspell, what what your dominant hand is and what that means, what the signing space is, what that means when you're learning how to sign, facial expression, how important that is, which is super important in sign language. Things like classifiers and role shifting. I'm going to do videos on all those. I've had some special friends ask me to sign certain books, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to start out with some numbers, some letters, and colors, just some basic vocabulary, and then I'll go into individual books, some of my favorite books. And it's difficult to sign and hold the book at the same time. So I'm still working on the setup of some of that. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy.